broadcasting on emergency channel. Anyone reads, please respond. Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear my voice? Anyone out there, please respond.
I hear you. Snarf talk.
Snarf talk.
In the house.
You're here.
Yes, I am.
Yes, welcome to a brand new edition of Snarf Talk.
Snarf Madness round 3.
The big round 3. Actually, it's round 2.
Well, it is round 2, but... Oh, yeah. It is the second round.
Yeah.
So do I label the next episode Snarf Madness round 1.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we're back, and we are weathering the storm.
We are. We will prevail, Christopher. Snarf Talk will prevail. Just like we said in the last 2 episodes, really. We ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, but like things have
continue.
incrementally gotten extremely crazier since then.
Yeah, it has quite a bit.
Like in the course of the last 5 days.
Lots of things have changed, and not for the better.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like super doom and gloom, because we are the light for people.
Yeah.
You know, Snarf Talk is the light.
But we need to be topical.
But yeah, the topic would be that coronavirus is taking hold.
Yeah, yes it is.
Pretty severely. There was like 488,
I think.
Yeah, in Illinois now.
Yeah, it's basically doubling every day.
Wait, real quick. What's with West Virginia? Because have you noticed West Virginia has reported no cases?
Oh, it's all that Mountain Dew.
It is. They're all hopped up on that Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew's a natural antiviral. I don't know if you know that or not.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's basically
Really?
It's a cure-all. It's bad for your teeth, but
Terrible.
It's great for COVID-19.
Wait, are we talking like actual like Pepsi Company Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Or are we talking like White Lightning Moonshine Mountain Dew?
No. Pepsi Company Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be. I used to...
They do's the dew out there.
They do's the do. Mountain Dew used to be like my life source. It was like basically my blood.
I've been drinking a lot more of the Mountain Dew lately because they came out with Mountain Dew Zero.
How is that?
It's amazing.
Really?
It tastes just like Mountain Dew, and it's got 0 calories.
0 calories, 0 sugar, but a shitload of aspartame.
That's fine. I don't mind aspartame.
Right? I mean, assuming that's what...
I didn't look at what the sweetener was, but I think it's some kind of a mixture. Yeah.
Some sort of made in a lab sweetener.
Yeah, that's fine. I like artificial sweeteners.
Okay.
But anyway, no.
But does your body?
Yeah, it loves it. It gets fuel from it.
It literally fuels my life.
But no, they've proceeded to continue to shut down the schools. I've heard pretty good word that we're probably going to see a complete shutdown.
Yeah.
Shelter order for the entire state.
Chicago, as of today, said no school all to April 20th, but I'm sure that's going to extend.
And shelter in place.
Chicago did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Something along those lines. Actually, I didn't catch the whole thing, but I did hear the mayor saying, if you are found outside exhibiting symptoms, if you leave your house exhibiting symptoms, there will be consequences.
Really?
Are the exact words of the mayor of Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah. Like shoot on the street.
That's what I was going to say. Like shoot dead?
Like put them down.
Wow. Like a diseased possum.
But no, and unfortunately we just had our first cases in Grundy County and in LaSalle County.
Yes. Well, the one in LaSalle County is actually the one in Grundy County that had contracted it because they technically live in LaSalle County.
Okay.
But they were in the hospital in Grundy County.
Right. So it is a growing menace, and it's unfortunate and it's depressing. So we don't really want to talk about it too much.
It is. I always look to the bright side of things, and I don't worry like normal people because I think I'm dead inside. So I don't know. I'd rather talk about comic book characters myself.
So that's what we're gonna do, and hopefully, while you're sitting at home in your mandatory shelter-in-place quarantine, you can get a little bit of light in your life from Snarf Madness.
Because we're socially distancing ourselves from you through the airwaves.
Are we 6 feet apart from each other?
I think we are.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close.
So we're observing the
don't touch me.
standard rules. This office is closed permanently or indeterminately.
Right, indefinitely.
So indefinitely, that's the word.
Yep.
So I'm the only one using this office on a normal basis now.
Okay. And if you're not diseased, I'm fine.
Everybody else is working remotely in my company anyway.
Yep. The Army Corps of Engineers has drastically decreased their workforce. There's only 25% of the people on Rock Island Arsenal now. Our project office only has 2 people there each day, and it rotates specific days. They're all teleworking, which apparently, so since it's a government agency, we have to use a VPN for our computers, obviously. And there are so many people trying to get on the VPN to work daily, it's shutting everything down. And they're having a terrible time for people to actually work.
I talked to our internet provider the other day. Just randomly ran into him at Menards, which was hustling and bustling.
Well, I'm sure it was.
Probably shouldn't have been there. But I had to get parts because...
Right. Did you get toilet paper?
No.
Oh, man.
And he said he's never seen traffic like this on his network ever.
Really?
It's just insane.
Just because that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, everybody's doing that.
Everyone's pushing everything to the internet because we're sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, not me.
I don't know. I think like everybody is just, and again, I don't like to be doom and gloom either, and I'm not even saying this to be doom and gloom, but everybody's got this like weird picture in their head, just like 2 weeks from now, this is all going to be over. I think we're going to be in this for several months.
Yeah. It'll be several months. I don't think it's going to be like a 6 to 8 month thing.
I don't know.
That people have projected.
Well, let's just say this. I did see some interesting stuff today that was talking about a really promising treatment.
Okay.
Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Okay. Well, they've apparently found this really, really, really promising treatment. And the real good news about this is it appears to work.
Okay.
For the most part, in severe cases. And obviously...
Good.
In less severe cases, you just get over it. Mm-hmm. It's mainly in the older population, but it appears to be affecting or working on these severe cases. But here's the real kicker. It's just like a generic medication that's been out since the 1950s. It's an anti-malaria medication.
Really?
It's been around forever. I've actually taken it.
Yeah.
And it's
so you're immune.
No, it's like you got to be taking it.
So
it's made from the bark of a tree. It's a derivative of quinine. From tonic water.
Okay.
It's called chloroquine or something along those lines.
Chloroquine.
And it's an anti-malaria drug, and it's relatively benign. Like if you take it and don't need it,
sure.
Like it generally doesn't cause huge problems. So apparently, it's going through the FDA. It's already FDA approved, and it's already being prescribed by doctors, and it has been for years for varying degrees of different things. It's not approved to treat COVID-19, so that's what the FDA is working on now. It's mostly about dosage, but they have cut the red tape to allow off-label prescription of it to very ill patients.
But only if you're ill. So you can't take it if you, like, as a precautionary thing.
As of now, until they complete further FDA testing, that appears to be the way it's going to be. But if you only really need it if you're seriously ill. So we'll see but that doesn't mean that there's some stockpile that can be 150 million people worth, but
exactly, because they probably don't have
but it's a relatively common medication.
Well, that's good.
It's promising news.
That sounds like an upside.
There was also, I was reading a couple different 2 or 3 drug combinations that a doctor in in India has found out has kind of successfully treated. The problem is you can't get really your hopes up because, even if they found something, there wouldn't be a supply.
Right.
That would
not
be
at this
even
point.
Nearing to the point where it would be, we would be years away from having a stockpile big enough to.
Right. It would have to all be made, and we don't have that capability at the moment. I get it. Okay.
But anyway, it is promising. So I think there maybe is some good news. I think that's how we ultimately get out of this. We find a treatment or get a vaccine.
Yeah. I don't know if there's really a vaccine at the moment, but
there's tons of them in testing.
Because with a virus, all you can treat is the symptoms. And like with this specific virus, it's like always mutating. Like every 3 days it mutates. That's been the problem, is that it's changing.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's what Amy was talking about tonight. Is that every 3 days it mutates, and that's why they're having a problem like tracking it, because the virus changes.
Huh. Well, anyway, there were there's actually vaccines already that were developed within 2 or 3 months that are already into human testing.
Nice.
Now we would be years away from having enough of that to do anything with, but it's something.
Yeah, at least, I mean, obviously they're doing a lot of work around the clock to try to figure this thing
Yeah,
out.
I just hope like honestly we can keep really keep like not lose sight of not lose the forest through the trees. Is that the word?
I have no idea.
You've never heard that saying?
No. Not lose the forest through the trees?
Not lose sight of the forest through the trees. Right. Not
Okay.
be looking at some future inevitability down the road and cause a bunch of damage in the meantime.
Right now. Yeah, I gotcha.
Like, we got to keep a certain amount of things rolling here. Like, a
Oh,
certain
yeah.
amount of daily life has to continue to operate.
Yeah, I think that will happen. I don't think they will just shut down everything. I think everybody understands that that can't happen. But it's just about but I mean the unnecessary parts of life can absolutely stop, which they've done.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We used to have a segment, Christopher, that was called Snarf Recommends. But
Yeah.
we still do have it. I'm going to change it a little bit and say, like, Snarf doesn't recommend.
Oh, okay.
I have one thing.
So you don't recommend COVID-19.
I don't recommend COVID-19 in the slightest to anyone. But what I also don't recommend, and I've had about a year to test this out. And what I've tested is what's it exactly called? It's called the Amazon Fire Recast box.
You've had a lot of problems with this thing.
Junk.
Yeah.
It does. Here's the thing. So what this box is basically a DVR, and you can record, your antenna channels, your local channels, 2579, all that kind of stuff. Play it back whenever you wanted, and it's great. The issue is it works over Wi-Fi, connects to your Amazon Fire Stick, but it's also like pushing your TV feed, so whatever channel you're watching, through that Wi-Fi to record it. And it does not do that well. Every time we would put on live TV, it always came up with weak / like poor signal. I don't have weak or poor signal with my antenna whatsoever. I could turn on any other TV in the house that wasn't hooked up to that box just with a coax cable, and it works just fine. Like, signal's great. As soon as I go to that Fire Recast, weak or poor signal. You go to record something, and it just loses half of the signal all the time. Just goes black. Has a little circle where it's trying to like load it up, and it doesn't work. Now, I'm kind of stuck with my Wi-Fi quality. Like, I can only get so good of Wi-Fi where I live because it's out in the middle of nowhere. I have like line of sight Wi-Fi, which works for everything else. I can stream anything I want to because I have open sight to your grain leg, which is where I get the internet from.
Right.
And everything else works just fine. But for some reason, through this box, it will not put things through. So me recording and having a functional DVR, not working well.
I think we can break down this issue a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, have you reached out to technical support?
Not yet. That's what I'm going to do because I finally had my limit to where
Yeah.
I'm like, this needs to change.
Well, that would be your first step.
Yes.
So, the antenna comes from the cable coax comes from your antenna directly into this box.
Yes.
All right. So it's actually recording. So do you think the problem is the signal in there or the signal between that box and your Fire Stick?
Yes. That is the problem right there. The signal between the Fire
So
Stick and
when
the
you
box.
when you have your TV hooked to that box, can you hook your TV directly to that box?
Just the coax, the box is completely wireless
It just has a coax goes into it and nothing else.
and a power source. That's
Literally,
it.
that's it.
Yes. You cannot put a cable from that box to your TV.
Can you put a Ethernet cable?
There are no other plugins on the back of this box besides a coax
That seems like a problem.
and a DC input.
There has to be something else.
No,
A USB?
or AC input for power. No, there's nothing on the back besides the coax.
Okay.
It's really annoying, and I think that's a flaw.
All right. Well, reach out to the support. I can't help you there.
Okay.
It might not work at all.
Yes.
But if it doesn't, I have another thing that I know of that I know some people that have successfully used. There are other DVRs that you can buy.
Absolutely, there
One
are.
of them's called the Channel Master. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, no,
that
I know
apparent,
there.
like have worked pretty flawlessly.
I know that there's other things. I was just really pumped about this because I thought it would work seamlessly with the Amazon Fire Stick, and I can control it on my phone to what it records, and it's through the Fire Stick. You can just go right to live TV. It's like all seamless.
How about this? Have you tried to put a
But it's
signal
not
booster
seamless.
between the coax cable and the box?
The coax and the box
Yeah.
itself? No.
That's something you might want to try.
I mean, I have a booster on my antenna already,
You might want to try another one.
just to the box, but it still has to go to the Fire Stick wirelessly through the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but how do you know that poor signal thing isn't happening between the antenna and that box?
It doesn't happen on any other TV that it has just the coax plugged into it. I don't have any poor signal or loose
Right,
channels.
I understand, but maybe it's the processing unit itself inside that box that is not grabbing the antenna signal
Yes.
correctly.
Wouldn't that be a flaw with the box itself?
Well, here's the reasoning I'm saying. It's because it's somehow digitizing that signal.
Right.
You're taking an analog signal. Well, it's not analog anymore, though. It's digital.
Right. It is digital.
Well, anyway, it sounds like it's something that's happening inside that box that has to do with computing and changing and resizing that data to be able to send it. Because when you're
Yes.
so,
That's what it is.
I'm wondering if you could try it though.
So
Those
is
are
that
cheap.
just like
Those
an
are really cheap
inline
and easy.
booster that I could plug in?
Yeah, they have to have a power source, but yeah, you can buy like a little booster.
Okay.
It's something to try.
Yeah, it is something to try.
I would ask the support people first though.
Because this box cost a little bit of money, and I got it on Prime Day, and they had a Prime deal. But either way, it was still a couple $100 for this box because I got like the 4 terabyte hard drive to be able to, record basically anything I wanted.
Have you just like Googled your issue?
And yeah, multiple people have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never found a fix for it, but
Okay.
I'm just saying that
Then it's probably just a shitty product.
I think so. That's why I'm going to say that I don't recommend it at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a follow-up and say, hey, they fixed it with like a software update.
Nah, probably
But
not.
I doubt that's going to be the case.
All right. Well, that was exciting.
Don't buy the Amazon Fire recast
Snarf does not recommend.
at this point. Okay.
We do recommend EJ Cars, where I've been eating a lot of my meals lately.
You know what?
Not in dining room, but you just pull up and they bring it outside and put it in your car.
I screwed up so bad because I don't pay attention to like holidays really at all, and I completely forgot that it was St. Patrick's Day until I got home and seen like everybody was talking about that it was St. Patrick's Day on social media, and then I realized like, oh, people eat corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day, and I freaking love corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah, me too. It's one of my favorites.
I love it so much, and then I realized, probably should have got that. But I was like making dinner. I made soup because you posted that thing on our social media about making some soup.
Probably just sit at home, make some soups, eat some dessert,
eat some bread.
eat some bread, just get all fat and sassy.
Yeah. And I got super sassy with a bunch of soups.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was very good, but I felt really bad because I wanted to get corned beef and cabbage and from EJ Cars because they made really good corned beef and cabbage, I guess.
Yeah, I had a Reuben. I didn't actually get corned beef and cabbage. But that's like a thing we do every year when my mom makes corned beef and cabbage. We have a whole thing, a whole dinner. Couldn't do it this year.
No. Quarantine.
Quarantini.
All right, on to Snarf Madness round 2. We're starting to get more and more serious.
We are picking the Sweet 16 here.
This is the Sweet 16, yes.
No, this is round 2.
We're picking this Sweet
Picking
16.
the Sweet 16. So we didn't update any scores yet. We will after this round because now we're getting to the real meat and potatoes, you know?
First round is 1 point. Second round was going to be 2, correct?
Yeah. So I don't actually have a current tally on who's leading this, but you will know next week. We'll update you.
Yes, absolutely. If you're following along on your own bracket, you will clearly see what you're doing. What have you lost, Chris?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. So, are we going to start? We'll start in the top left, work our way down.
Yeah, we will start up in the East Division.
East Division, we've got in my bracket Daredevil versus Dr. Manhattan.
Ooh. And in mine, we have Well, why don't you just say yours and then I'll do mine.
Okay, so Daredevil versus Dr. Manhattan. Again, like, I really love Dr. Manhattan. I think he's incredible. I love his power. I like the dynamic in the Zack Snyder movie, and he's incredible in the book too. But it just does not compare to Daredevil. I mean, Daredevil was an easy pick here for me. He's an incredible character. It's got to go to Daredevil. He's got so much more story, obviously, than what Dr. Manhattan does. And he's kind of bad A.
Yeah. So mine was a little more difficult because Green Lantern is superior to Dr. Manhattan, as we figured out in the first round.
Well,
so I have Daredevil versus Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. It's Daredevil all day. Everybody kind of knows that Daredevil is one of my favorite characters of all time. One of my favorite Marvel characters for sure. Anyway. And I've liked him pretty much my entire life, and I've collected that comic. I think I have every Daredevil comic going back.
Please start reading the Chip Zdarsky run. Do you remember how to read?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Because you don't do it much anymore, and you need to read that run.
I've been reading some stuff lately, so yeah. I've been reading a lot of Star Wars and Darth Vader stuff lately.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Nice.
So actually I have been reading, so.
Good. It makes my heart happy.
Nana, nana, boo-boo.
It makes my heart happy.
Stick your head in doo-doo.
No, thank you. You could get a virus.
Yeah. Not the coronavirus, though.
No,
you
like...
get the Ebola virus.
And sepsis.
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah,
no. But Daredevil for me, all day.
Yeah.
If you want some ideas of some good Daredevil to read, by the way, you could read Born Again by Frank Miller.
Yep.
It's probably the quintessential. You could also read Guardian Devil by Kevin Smith. So very wordy.
He gets a little wordy,
but it's very good. It's very good, and it's a really the different thing about Daredevil than most other comics is like the earnestness with which it's treated for the most part. Not in all runs, but it's just like a very heavy character. So if you like dark and like savageness.
If you want to see a guy just take the weight of the world on his shoulders,
carry it around
episode
all the time in sheer misery,
because he's blind.
Yeah,
I don't know if the spoilers.
They make a whole big thing about it in the comics. It's constantly talking about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's hard, even though you're basically like a bat because he's got.
I wonder if there's
echolocation.
So, a bunch of people that did this bracket said, I don't even know who half these people are. I wonder if everybody that did the bracket would know who Daredevil is. Do you think it's an A-lister by now?
I believe so.
He's an A-lister?
I mean, after the Netflix stuff, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I would definitely say he would be.
Not after the Ben Affleck movie?
No. I think that brought him down a tier.
Okay. All right. Our next pick for round 2 for me is Winter Soldier and The Flash.
Yeah.
This is a good one, interesting one. But if you've been listening at all to me, then you know my pick is Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, it's just a book I really, really, really enjoy. Like, obviously, The Flash has a way longer history.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're strictly going by, like, the impact the character has had on the world, The Flash has clearly had way more of an impact.
Yes.
But for me, I got to go back to a little bit of like what I enjoy, and also
that's what it's about, man.
I think it's also like a really well written character, and it always has been since its date. When did Winter Soldier probably come out? In the mid 2000s,
early 2000s, wasn't it? It was before 2010.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was probably like it was before the Civil War, and that was in like 05, 06, so it was somewhere in that range.
Yep.
It's just been it's just a really cool character.
He is really cool. I also had Winter Soldier versus The Flash for my bracket right there, and I went with The Flash.
I'm not surprised.
You shouldn't be.
No.
And I love The Flash.
Probably, honestly, it's probably the right pick there, but I gotta go with. I got some love for Winter Soldier.
You gotta go with what you love, and I love The Flash. I love all of the stories he's done. The impact he's had on the DC universe is like incredible,
and just comics as a whole.
Oh yeah,
huge, long history.
Absolutely, and they get better and better. And Gosh, I love the Scarlet Speedster.
Yeah.
So the Flash is the clear winner for me. Even though I do love the Winter Soldier, Brubaker's run on Winter Soldier is like unbelievable. Yeah, but it's the Flash in my book.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, we should move on because I'm second guessing myself.
You can't
Let's
now.
go.
You just picked it. You recorded it. It's recorded. Next one is Spider-Man versus, in my bracket, it is Spider-Man versus Nick Fury.
Yeah, and in mine, it's Spider-Man versus Nick Fury as well, but you can go first.
Well, it's clearly Spider-Man. I mean, I don't really care about Nick Fury in the slightest.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Is he cool? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Look out. Here comes a Spider-Man.
Yeah, Nick Fury. The only reason I picked Nick Fury is because I did like him better than Xena. Xena didn't really do much for me, but Spider-Man is clearly better. Everything about him is better. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
He's just
like we
better.
said in the last episode.
I
One of
like
the
him.
top 3 or 2 episodes ago. One of the top 3, big 3 comic book characters, probably as far as name recognition in the general.
So you're saying you picked him too?
I did, and I do think it's.
Wow.
I do think it's interesting to note in this matchup that really the first interesting Nick Fury was like part of the Spider-Man Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
So Ultimate Spider-Man Universe by
Yes.
Which was Brian Michael Bendis, right?
Yep. Also a bit wordy.
Yeah, but that was like the first new cool iteration. That's what, if you're familiar with Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, that's what inspired
That's
that
what it is,
character. For me, that's like the first time I've had any interest in that character. He's before that. I know he had his own comics for years.
Sure.
I know he was a big character, but just for me, I only ever really crossed that character when it was like as a generic
Side guy.
side.
Yeah.
This is like the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy.
And that's really all he is. I mean,
He becomes more than that after that point. And
He does, but only because of like what they were doing with those other characters. He had to follow along with that, and they had to make him something somewhat substantial.
Yeah.
In order to keep him along.
Too much time devoted to a loser.
Yeah,
The winner is Spider-Man.
What a loser. Spider-Man is easily the winner. Okay, next is Iron Man versus Hercules for me.
Same for me.
Is it? Oh, I thought you had picked Cyclops.
No.
I forgot about that.
This one is honestly, there wasn't a lot of hard picks for me in this round. This was probably one of the harder ones. I'm a huge fan of Hercules.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a huge fan of Greek mythology. I'm a huge fan of pretty much every iteration of Hercules.
Sure.
And when
Sure
you're
you
talking
are.
about like cultural impact, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hercules has been a mainstay for, I don't know, 3,000 years.
But what if you're talking about cultural impact after the year 2010?
That's where things get dicey here, Jerry. If it was pre-2010,
Yeah.
there wouldn't even be a question of this one. But then a little guy named Robert Downey Jr. met a little guy named Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't forget Jon Favreau.
And they made magic with some help along the way.
If dude was here, it'd be Jon Favreau.
Yeah. Jon Favreau.
Favreau.
being.
Favreau.
So I think I'm gonna shock people here. I'm gonna go with Iron Man.
That doesn't shock me in the slightest.
Really?
Yeah, I assumed you were going to pick Iron Man.
I just did, and honestly, it's just because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's the only reason.
Yeah, so I also had Iron Man and Hercules. I also picked Iron Man. Hercules is great and all. I don't have the ties with him that you do. Like I'm
Well,
not.
there just hasn't really been a standout Hercules, like,
No.
to me.
I mean, Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, that's not gonna. That's,
Come on.
I don't have a lot of history with the comic book character, the Marvel comic Hercules.
No, I don't know.
Character, which is, I mean, a big character, or has been a big character in the past. Not so much
Yeah.
nowadays, but yeah, I'm going with Iron Man.
I mean, yeah, Iron Man for me is much better. It is because of the Marvel movies, for sure. He's just better. He's
Iron
more
Man.
fun to watch.
Iron Man does
whatever
whatever
an
an
iron
iron can. Can he steam? Yes, he can.
I'm not even getting into it. Yeah, so Iron Man.
Our next one, my pick for the next one, and I think we have the same thing, is Doctor Strange versus Jean Grey.
Yes, that's what I have. Doctor Strange versus Jean Grey.
People were shocked by our pick of Jean Grey over the Punisher, both of us.
They were.
I was shocked by you picking Jean Grey
I know.
over the
A
Punisher.
lot of people were.
I wasn't shocked by me picking because I made the pick.
I wasn't shocked by me picking Jean Grey either, and I knew it would cause an issue with certain people. I didn't do it for that. Like, the Punisher's fine, and I enjoyed the Thomas Jane movie and the Netflix run. Like, I enjoyed those things. I've never really read the comics though, so the Punisher.
I have read a lot of Punisher comics, but I went with Jean Grey just because I thought it was a more interesting character overall,
Way
little
better.
less generic.
I think
of a
it's way
character.
better.
On this matchup, Doctor Strange versus Jean Grey. I don't know why we're even talking about the Punisher. I picked Doctor Strange, which was not a surprise. If you listened back, you would know that I said he was one of my favorite characters of all time. So, yeah, and that goes back from comics, from video games, from animated movies, from the MCU movies, across the board. I love sorcerers. I love magic.
But do you love the Sorcerer Supreme?
I do.
Okay.
And the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yes. I did the same. Doctor Strange. I don't think it's really a competition
It's
either.
not strange pick.
It's not a strange pick. It's the right pick.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is just better. He's got better story. There's so much more to him. It's like very complex on what he does and what he can do. Is just a better character. Jean Grey's great. I love her and all of the X-Men stuff. Just Doctor Strange, man.
Yeah.
And Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Could you pick a better Doctor Strange? I don't think so.
Could you be any more strange?
He could. He really could. And I can too.
No, he's great. All right.
Next one.
Next is, for me, Cable versus Captain America.
And I had RoboCop versus Captain America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
All right, why don't you go? Well, who's your pick?
Oh, easily Captain America. I'm not going to beat around here. I mean, RoboCop
Really?
doesn't stand a chance against Captain America.
I did not see that coming. Not one bit.
Yes, you did.
No.
You did.
I
Clearly.
thought you'd be all about protecting the mean streets of Detroit.
You know, normally I am. You know, on my day-to-day life, I'm thinking like, you know what? Wish RoboCop was out there fixing up Detroit.
Listen, they're going to need RoboCop
Good
in
old-
Detroit. I don't know if you know this or not, but the big three car manufacturers are all shut down now,
Oh yeah, they are.
and they're quarantined that city, and they're going to have some chaos in the streets. They need a RoboCop.
We all need a RoboCop at this point, but we all need a Captain America a little bit more.
Oh, that's what we do need right now.
Yeah, we need one Captain America to just go through. And
Actually, we could probably use an Ant-Man more because he could shrink down to the size of a virus and then beat them up.
What about the Atom?
He already lost, though.
He did already lose, but if we had both an Ant-Man and an Atom,
It'd be
how
unstoppable.
could we fail?
I had Cable versus Captain America. This one was a lot more difficult for me. No, it wasn't. It was Captain America.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be a difficult
I've been
choice.
a huge Captain America fan pretty much my entire life.
Yeah.
I used to trace him.
If you didn't pick Captain America, get your head on straight, folks.
Yeah, you're not part of America.
Yeah, you're
And
certainly not a
since
captain.
there are people that do listen to this overseas,
Oh yeah. If you
I'm sorry that Captain Britain's not on here.
Oh yeah, he wasn't on here. But either way, guys, come on. We know that we're just talking about characters in general.
Yeah.
Captain America is a better character than whatever else was picked.
Yeah. Next one, we have both the same thing. Swamp Thing versus the last son of Krypton.
Soups.
Superman.
The soups.
So you have basically the personification of the green,
Yep.
nature itself,
He is like omnipotent.
versus a literal alien being
Unstoppable
takes
force.
in our yellow sun to become a god amongst men.
Correct.
Wow.
Isn't that this would be like an incredible actual fight to see?
Well, I think it's happened before.
Has it?
I'm definitely sure it's happened before.
I haven't seen it if it has.
Well, I know he fought Batman.
Yes, I know he did
But
too.
no, definitely, I'm sure Superman has faced off against Swamp Thing a time
And
or two.
Swamp Thing just literally covered him up in green.
I mean, this was a kind of a difficult one because here's the deal. You got to separate personal preference. There's a weight.
No, you don't. You just picked personal preference with Winter Soldier up there and said, look it, I know the Flash has better story.
You got to weigh the things.
Okay.
No, I think Winter Soldier has better story. That's why I picked him.
No, that's not what you said.
I picked him because I think the stories that he does have are better.
Okay.
I also picked him because I enjoy the character more. It's a weight. There's different weights. Imagine me, Jerry. Close your eyes.
I'm imagining you.
Imagine.
I'm looking at you.
I'm one of those blind justice people with the
Yes.
scales,
Scale of justice.
but I have 6 of the scales.
My goodness,
And
6
I-
of them.
I have to weigh
6
the
things.
history of the character, the stories generated, my enjoyment of the character. I have to take all the information in.
You do. I don't.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you live a simple life.
I really do.
But I'm the one here
great.
making the actual determinations.
I just feel like you're going through way too much trouble here.
Okay. So my pick, without any further ado, is Swamp Thing.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't think you would pick Swamp Thing. To be
I
honest,
did.
I didn't think you would.
Yeah. No, I did. Just because it's such a cool character.
Golly, is it? So I also had Swamp Thing versus Superman. If you've ever listened to an episode of Snarf Talk, I've probably talked about Swamp Thing in every episode. I clearly picked my boy Swampy.
Yeah.
He is... The character is, like you said, just so cool. He, like, pulls on my heartstrings. If I could be anything, I think I'd be Swamp Thing.
Why?
Well, I mean, I'd probably be Batman.
I'd probably be Superman.
But, no, I wouldn't be Superman at all. I don't
Oh.
care about flight.
Well, he can do a lot of other things.
Laser eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad because Superman's like the granddaddy of all comic book characters. But I'm sorry. I'm going with Swamp Thing.
I'm not sorry. I love Swamp Thing, and that is the winner. Next, Harley Quinn versus Deadpool in my bracket.
And the same for me.
Okay.
And this one, I think, is easy. Everybody can agree. Deadpool.
Deadpool also won for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
First of all, there's just a lot more story
way
in
more.
general. Harley Quinn, in some respects, might have some better stories.
Really?
No.
No, I don't think so. I
mean, Deadpool is not deep, right? It's not. There's not deep storylines going on. It's
Harley Quinn
comedy. It's fun.
is just below the surface deep.
Yeah.
There's like one story that's deep
Yeah.
with Harley Quinn.
Okay.
That's it.
You're right. Yeah, Deadpool has been one of my favorites. Obviously, if you listen, you know that. One of my favorite characters of all time. It's unbelievably annoying that he's super popular now because I like them before anybody else liked them.
Oh, poor Chris.
So Deadpool.
Yes, I agree. Deadpool.
All right. So on my left-hand side bracket, I have, for the Sweet 16, Daredevil versus Winter Soldier, Spider-Man versus Iron Man. Ooh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange versus Captain America. Holy cow. And Swamp Thing versus Deadpool. What?
Yeah. So I'm basically identical except for the very first bracket. I have Daredevil versus The Flash, Spider-Man versus Iron Man, Doctor Strange versus Captain America, and Swamp Thing versus Deadpool.
All right. A lot of difficult decisions to be coming
Yeah.
up in the Sweet 16.
That's rough.
All right. We're going to go over to the right side, to the South bracket.
South bracket.
And I had the Silver Surfer versus Harry Potter.
Wow.
Wow.
This is the first bracket we were completely different on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have Shazam versus Spawn.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead. I know what you're going to pick, but go for it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think you do?
Yeah, I know I do.
Yeah, I think you do too. So I definitely pick Spawn
Yeah.
because it's better. It's dark. It's gloomy. He's ominous.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane knows how to draw a character very well and write a story very well. Spawn is just way better. I don't know much about Shazam, to be honest. I mean, I know enough about him to where I knew he was way better than Silver Surfer. Just because I
Disagree.
I know even less about Silver Surfer, to be honest. But yeah, Spawn, come on. Spawn's better. So Spawn's my winner.
All right. And I had Silver Surfer versus Harry Potter. You better get that silver surfboard and surf right out of here.
Get out of here.
You just get Silver Surfer. Get.
You silly surfer.
You get out of here. That's right, folks. I picked Harry Potter all day long.
Yeah.
That's an easy one for me. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm a Potter fanatic, if you would.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a Harry fanatic.
Yeah. I'm like a member of that Harry Potter fan website. What is it? Pottermore?
I don't have a clue. That's a website?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know anything about it.
Yep.
I do know that if I was in a school, I would be in Ravenclaw.
Why?
That's what the
A house.
or house.
No, it's not a house. It's a
hat. Right? Doesn't the hat
the
pick
hat. Yeah, sorts you, and you can go to Gryffindor,
it? No, I was in Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff,
It said
or
it,
Slytherin.
it said it was because I was an incredible genius and had a really good wit.
Okay, is that for real?
That's what it told me. No, I don't know. Yeah, it is for real that it put me in Ravenclaw.
That is like the worst one.
Why?
That is like the loser one.
I don't think so.
No, it is for real. Like Gryffindor's where the cool kids are.
Oh,
Slytherin's for the bad boys. Hufflepuff is for like the delightful kind of rejects.
Okay.
And Ravenclaw is like the literally the one that nobody cares or knows anything about.
Oh, really? Yeah, that sounds about like my life.
It's a cool name though.
Yeah, it is.
Ravenclaw.
Next.
Next, it was for me Rorschach versus Wolverine. Same for you, right?
I had the same thing, yeah.
Get out of here. This one's so easy.
Is it?
For me, it is. I picked Wolverine.
You did?
Yeah.
So did I.
Snicked.
Wolverine.
Snicked.
Yeah. Come on, people. I mean, Rorschach's really cool.
Yeah, he is really cool, actually.
But Wolverine? Give me a break.
I feel like we waxed poetic pretty well about Rorschach last
We did.
week, which is great because he deserves his due.
He does.
And, had he not come up against Wolverine,
He may very well be in the Sweet 16. But
if you haven't read Watchmen, get it. Buckle yourself in. It's a long road.
Quarantine yourself for 14 days.
We got nothing else to do. It's a good one to read. But before I read Watchmen, no, I was going to say I'd read. I was going to name some other Wolverine comics I'd read. No, I'd read Watchmen first. It's
Yeah.
incredible. But there's a lot of a little bit funner Wolverine comics. I wouldn't say fun, but easier to digest, I should say.
I would say some of them are fun.
Yeah, Savage Wolverine's really fun. It's a good book.
Yeah, but you can't. For me, you just can't beat Old Man Logan.
No, Old Man Logan's great.
That's so good. Well, I take that back. I do really love. I think it's just called Wolverine, isn't it?
The Wolverine
that goes to Japan.
Yeah,
that one's so good. But there's a lot of old Wolverine that's incredible as well. Wolverine, way better character.
Yes, sir. I have in my next bracket. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, that's fine. This is what you do.
Moon Knight versus Nightwing.
I had the same thing. Moon Knight versus Nightwing.
Go ahead.
I honestly had to think about this one a little bit, but I ended up going with Nightwing because
really
I did. I love it.
Very surprised by that. You were going to make a Moon Knight costume.
I was, but I would also make a Nightwing costume.
I mean, you have Moon Knight underwear.
How do you know that?
I have X-ray vision.
Oh, yeah, Nightwing.
And I'm looking at your crotch with my X-ray vision.
Okay. Yes. Nightwing. Nightwing's better.
Threw him for a loop.
Dick Grayson's better. He likes to beat people up. It's in the Batman universe. They're tied together. It's DC all the way.
Yeah. I mean, Moon Knight is an awesome character. Super cool. But
It's just not in the league.
I went with Nightwing too.
Yeah, it's not in the league.
It's not the same thing. It just doesn't have the same cultural
Gravitas.
Yeah, the same cultural penetration as Nightwing has had.
Deep.
Yeah.
It is deep penetration.
Your average person doesn't know who Moon Knight is at the end of the day. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does make a huge difference. There's probably a lot of people that just did this bracket that have no idea who Moon Knight is.
Those same people have no idea who Nightwing is. So, but that's fine.
You think so?
Nightwing is Dick Grayson. He was the first Robin.
Correct.
He got mad at Batman. He left and became his own superhero called Nightwing.
Yeah.
He's got an awesome costume. He's got some batons. He's got a motorcycle. He's pretty BA.
He's very BA.
Moon Knight is probably more BA as a character, but not as. It's just Nightwing all day. All right. So in our next bracket, I have Hellboy versus Batman. Batman.
I also had that.
Yes.
Hellboy versus Batman. Again, if you've listened to any episode of Snarf Talk, any one of them, you could listen to, just pick a random one. Grab a random Snarf Talk, listen to it. At some point, I have said, I don't know about Chris, but I have specifically said, Batman is the greatest living comic book hero of all time, and I love him. If I could be his son, I would. If I could be him, I would. It is clear as day Batman would beat out Hellboy in any situation. And again, it's not like they're fighting or anything, but
because Hellboy's just a boy,
and he's from hell, you know.
And he's not a boy.
I have to pick Batman. If I didn't pick Batman, first of all, you'd know I'd be lying, and also I'd let you hit me with a baton,
like a
Nightwing baton.
How about like a batarang?
Oh, a batarang for sure.
Batarang is like he hits people with those things. They would kill somebody.
They'd have a severe laceration.
Yes,
we know that, but
sure.
Most likely they'd just stab into you.
Yeah,
and probably puncture your aorta.
Yeah,
and you'd bleed out inside. Very gruesome.
Well, I also picked Batman
because you're not dumb.
Duh.
Yeah, because duh. Yeah.
But I do love Hellboy, and if you haven't had a chance to check out A, Hellboy movies, fun,
very fun.
B, Hellboy comics, very original. Mike Mignola, amazing. Do so, but there's also, before you do that, I could give you about 8,000 Batman stories to read.
Every single Batman story that has been created, you should read because they're good. They're better than Hellboy. It even angers me that I have to pick people against Batman at this point.
Well, next week we're gonna have Batman versus his protege.
Yeah, there's
technically Nightwing has been Batman on several occasions, so we actually have to pick Batman versus Batman.
That's not true. We're only picking the iteration of Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Okay, fine. All right, for my next trick, it is Rick Grimes versus the Ghostbusters.
Oh, wow. I guess I forgot you picked all those dumb picks. Go ahead.
Who do you have?
I have Adam versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wow. We got completely separate ones. Okay. Well, this one was very difficult for me because I am a huge Walking Dead fan.
You are?
A big fan of the comics. I'm a big fan of the show. Walking Dead has been a big part of my life for the last 10 years.
You can't protect her, Rick.
You can't protect her, Rick. In fact, I said some Walking Dead stuff at the beginning of this episode.
You did.
I don't know if you guys were aware of that or not.
Yeah.
But that's what Rick says on the radio in the beginning of The Walking Dead.
Like the very first episode of Walking Dead.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
It's incredible.
Well, as much as The Walking Dead has been a big part of my life for the last 10 years or more, the Ghostbusters have been a big part of my life for the last 30 years of my life. So I went with Ghostbusters.
I assumed you would.
Yeah.
It makes sense to go with Ghostbusters in that situation.
It makes sense because it's a team.
It doesn't matter.
That's what I did.
You know, I've got Adam versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a team as well.
Yeah, I know. I have some teams in here,
and
I was all right with it.
And Adam, he's fine. I picked him because I do like him better than Rick Grimes. Coral, your eyeball's gone. Coral. Stupid. Adam doesn't say those things. He's a genius.
Yeah,
He's
is
a
genius.
genetic genius.
He's a billionaire too, isn't he? Doesn't he have a big tech company or
yes,
something?
I believe so.
I don't know if that's true, but I think it is.
He's like some sort of really smart scientist.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
But you can't beat the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in my book. And I picked that team.
Can you sing the entire animated show theme song?
Probably not.
I'll do the background.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They're the world's most
Fearsome fighting teens.
teens. They're heroes in a half shell, and they're green. When the evil Shredder attacks, those turtle boys don't cut 'em no slack. Teenage Mutant.
Yeah, I don't
Ninja
remember any of
Turtles,
that.
Teenage Mutant.
As soon as you
Ninja
say it, I remember it, but I can't sing it along with you.
There's a bunch more, and I know most of it, but
And then
Splinter
it goes.
taught them to be ninja teens.
Yeah, and then it goes through like each person, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like Michelangelo is a party.
it goes.
dude.
It goes. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines.
Yeah.
Raphael is cool but rude. Michelangelo is a party dude. Teenage
Cowabunga! Yeah.
You know who did that theme song?
I don't.
Sang it and wrote it.
Who?
Chuck Lorre.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy smokes, he's done literally everything.
literally every show on
Every-
CBS for the last 15 years.
The best one, House.
Did he do House?
I believe he did, yeah.
Oh, House is awesome.
It's either him or Dick Wolf. Those are the only two people that do shows.
This is not Dick Wolf.
No, I know. No, I'm almost positive it's Chuck Lorre because I always got him confused with Hugh Laurie, who was the main character of House.
Oh, and the main character of Avenue 5.
He is.
But yeah, he also did he does Mom, which is huge.
Is it?
Yeah, it's big. I don't watch it, but he did the Big Bang Theory. He did 2.5 Men. He did all of
Bing Bang Theory?
Yeah, Bing Bang.
Wow. Have you ever heard of the Bing Bang Brothers?
No.
Or Bing Bong Brothers?
Bing Bong?
Yeah, Bing Bong Brothers.
No. Bing Bong Brothers?
It's a Lonely Island skit
Oh.
that is really funny.
Nope.
It's let me try to think of the song now. I'll have to sing it later. Yeah.
No, we'll just leave the dead air go while you think,
No,
Jerry.
Well,
That's what people want to hear. You thinking.
thinking about a song. Hang on, guys. Listen to me think.
No, you're flexing.
Oh, I thought I was getting sick.
Trying to defeat COVID. All right, so my next one is Thor versus the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic.
This is very, very difficult for me. This is very, very hard.
That would be hard. Good thing I didn't pick the stupid Fantastic Four.
I'm a huge fan of the Fantastic Four, but at the end of the day, I got to go with Thor, and that's just 100% Hemsworth.
The God of Thunder.
Hemsworth.
Give me that hammer.
No, it's just what he's done and transformed with that character. Took a character that I could have no interest in whatsoever, and now I love. The Fantastic Four, on the other hand, has been the complete opposite. I used to love that character and always has loved that character.
That team
Of
characters.
But continual misfires have just driven it out of my consciousness.
They really have failed that team up because Stan Lee loved the Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four rocks, dude. Big time.
Okay.
They're awesome. You have no idea how awesome.
I really
the Fantastic
don't, I
Four is.
guess, because they're fine.
But when John Krasinski and Emily Blunt,
Wouldn't that be amazing? He's pushing for that.
he's
been
pushing
open
to
about that.
direct it as well. He wants to direct it.
Have at it,
He's
man.
like a huge director now.
I mean, Quiet Place 2.
Yeah. Quiet Place 2.5.
Yeah, Quiet Place 7.
Quiet Place 3.
They skip some and
Loud
do 7
Place?
first. Yeah, next one's coming up is Loud Place.
Like the next one after that's just going to be like mildly irritatingly above normal
Yeah.
sound.
Kids, quiet
Place.
down place.
Yeah.
Because their kids grow up,
Yeah.
because they save them
Yeah.
from the aliens.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I haven't either. I've heard it's very good.
Speaking of aliens, I just was reading something the other day, and this doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but it does have to do with The Walking Dead.
Has there been a sighting?
Robert Kirkman came out apparently, and I should probably know this because I am a fan. Mm-hmm. And like the virus that caused the zombie apocalypse was an alien virus that came from outer space.
But he never puts that in any of the books, right?
No, but he's said it. That's it. That's what happened.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But he never put it in the books. That's not real.
I don't know. Anyway,
You can't come out and say, oh, well, yeah, it was an alien thing. Put it in your book, man.
Because he wrote it.
Put it in the book then.
Rick. Fantastic Four loses to Thor in my bracket.
I have Thor versus Optimus Prime.
Thor versus the Dark World.
Yeah. Holy cow. Isn't there Transformers?
Dark Side of the Moon. Dark of the Moon.
Yeah, you're right. Something like that. Anyway, I do love Optimus Prime. If you listen to the last episode, you will hear me go on.
What does he say all the
on
time?
about
He always
Optimus
says
Prime.
something.
Oh, it's always like, we have to protect the humans because the human race is the greatest beings in the world, or in the universe.
And then he turns to the camera. He's like, and eat your vegetables, kids.
No, he doesn't do that.
Oh, that was in G.I. Joe. They did that all the time in G.I. Joe. Remember that?
We are the guardians. It's something like that. Like, humans are our friends. It's always very heartfelt and makes me cry because that man's voice is incredible. It's something about the tone.
What's your favorite?
Like the
it
tone
blows me away
and
that you're such a Transformers fan. I want to know what iteration of Transformers that you're just
The cartoon.
obsessed with. Like the original
cartoon I used to watch all the time. Oh, I need
there's
to
been
say,
like 20 cartoons.
I literally watch the cartoon every day after school. That was for David Seedentop. He said we should make a shirt that says that because I say it all the time.
Oh, we should make that shirt.
And I agree with him because I do say that often.
But
I
see,
realize that now, but
What
I
David
really
feels
did.
refuses to understand, like refuses outright to understand, is that the same shows weren't on every single day.
Yeah, all the time. Especially Transformers was on all the time. And I got satellite pretty early as a kid.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There was different shows on, like on different days.
Right.
Right.
Yes, I understand.
So that's
that.
how you could watch a bunch of different shows after school.
Correct.
But then you said Transformers was on all the time.
It was on all the time because I had satellite and I could watch it all the time.
Oh, I see.
I could watch it as much as I wanted.
On the Transformers channel.
Yeah, it was Transformers Network Prime.
Yeah.
So,
Robots in disguise.
anyway, I again love Optimus Prime.
My favorite Transformers thing, I think, was a bit on Robot Chicken where they transform with like Sam Witwicky,
yeah.
sitting inside of the vehicle.
Okay.
And he
and it's like
transforms and it's just like blood.
It just like crushes him.
I love
That is funny because if you see that, like it has happened before where they're inside of them and they transform and then the guy just like hops out. It just like falls out of him. That would never happen.
No.
You'd literally get sheared in half by flipping steel.
Yeah, they're metal. They're made out of metal. Jerry.
Right. Like grinding gears, crushing your femur as your eyeballs are torn from your face.
I deal with a lot of equipment.
Do you?
Yeah, on a regular daily basis.
All right.
And they take a phenomenal amount of work. There's bearings going bad all the times.
Yeah, terrible.
Things that are supposed to move are not moving. The hydraulics alone, there's always hoses blowing. Things are leaking. There's lots of oil all the time.
Yeah.
This is my life. These
are aliens from another planet.
So they don't have hydraulics?
They obviously have greaseless bearings. They have a completely enclosed hydraulic system that doesn't need any more oil. Apparently their filtration is impeccable.
Do they use fuel?
Yeah, the Allspark.
Is that their fuel?
No, like that's what saves the planet or like destroys.
Cybertron?
Yes, Cybertron. But anyway,
I know more about freaking.
you just say it before I do because my
Transformers
brain
than you.
doesn't work as well as yours.
All right, so you picked Optimus Prime.
No,
All
I
right,
didn't.
Let's move on.
I picked Thor.
Oh.
You just won't let me finish my bracket. Thor, the God of Thunder, so much better. Chris Hemsworth obviously solidified that character for everyone. But there is a lot of good story with Thor. You need to go back and read some of that. Do you know how to read, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I picked Thor.
I couldn't point you to a single Thor comic book to read because I have not read any, barely.
But you have read some.
Yeah, I read Jane Foster Thor, and I read some newer Thor. And actually, I lied because I read Thor. Well, they would have been the tie-in books during like the Civil War run, and then during the Avengers versus X-Men run, I read some of the tie-in Thors because I collected all those too.
Oh,
When they did that event, because I thought that was going to be a big deal, and then just kind of wasn't.
okay. Thor's better than Optimus
Thor.
Prime.
My next bracket, or why don't you do your next bracket?
No, just keep talking, Chris.
Go ahead.
You just keep talking. I've got Ant-Man versus Aquaman. This one was tough for me. I do love Aquaman a lot. I like Ant-Man a lot. But both of those picks are based solely off of their movie appearances.
Okay.
I don't read any of the comic books. I have read some Aquaman in the past. I have not read any Ant-Man.
Are there solo Ant-Man books? There must be, right?
Yeah, absolutely there are.
I've never read one.
No, neither have I. So it was a little bit tough here.
Are you sure, or is he just an Avengers character?
No, he has to have his own books. Look it up.
Okay.
There's no way he couldn't have his own books by now, especially. So yeah, Ant-Man versus Aquaman, there were two kind of side characters to me in my life that I really haven't ever paid attention to, except for once the movies came out. And I ended up going with Ant-Man.
Ooh.
Went against my DC heritage.
I'm actually very surprised by that.
To go with Ant-Man, I think it is a better character. It's fun. I love the goofiness in him. I don't know if it's like that in the comic books. I really don't. I just like him better. I think the movies were better. I'm positive the comic books probably don't have the story, don't have the weight, because Aquaman's been in the Justice League for so long and been a huge part in the DC, back catalog, that I guarantee you he has better story and more of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Than Ant-Man. But I don't know. I think I like the Ant-Man character a lot better.
Yeah, I'd like to read a lot more
I think
Ant-Man.
he's a little more dynamic than Aquaman, if you know what I mean. Like with the shrinking down and then the giant man.
Yeah.
It's just better to me.
There are tons of Ant-Man comics. Most of them that I'm looking at, though, are pretty new. So I don't know how long they've been writing them. Anyway, I had Ant-Man and Michonne.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Oh.
I picked her over Ant-Man because Ant-Man's terrible. Or Aquaman, sorry. I picked her over Aquaman because Aquaman's terrible.
He's not terrible.
In fact, I was just talking to somebody this weekend, my sister-in-law, and she said, "Oh, man, I watched that Aquaman movie." And I said, "Oh, yeah, how'd you like it?" And she said, "It was really bad."
Really?
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't
And you
good.
take what your sister-in-law has as weight for comic book stuff? Really?
Anyway, I picked Ant-Man. I had Ant-Man versus Michonne. This is pretty easy for me. I picked Ant-Man. I'll just go with it right now.
Yeah.
It's based off the movies. Those are some of my favorite Marvel comic movies. I think they were on... Ant-Man was way up on my list on best Marvel cinematic
Yeah, it was.
movie.
It was like 3, wasn't it?
And I like Paul Rudd. He's
Paul
great.
Rudd is a national treasure.
Yeah.
I really do. I want to be his son.
I thought you wanted to be Batman's son.
You're right. I do. Okay.
I'm going to
I want
inform
to
your dad
be-
that you want to be everybody's son but his.
Oh no. I've always been his son.
The Prince of Verona doesn't even care about the kingdom that he was to inherit. He didn't even stay there.
Not if Paul Rudd was around.
I don't think Paul Rudd is old enough to be your dad.
You're probably right. He's in his 40s, so no.
Yeah, he'd have to have that kid real young.
He could have.
That kid being you.
I mean, even if he's 45, he could have been 12 when he had me,
Wow.
which is possible because
He could be your dad.
you come into like maturity,
Yeah. Well, I picked Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man a lot. That's where I went with it. Move on. Next.
Next.
Sorry,
that was loud. Captain Reynolds versus Guardians of the Galaxy for my
Oh, me too.
bracket. My bracket.
Yeah, me too.
I love Captain Reynolds. I am
Most
going
people
to be
here right now are just like, Captain who now?
Yeah,
What?
Captain Reynolds. He was the captain of Serenity in Firefly. They flew around. They were like
It was a television short-lived television show by Joss Whedon.
a space western.
Yeah.
He was like a Han Solo type character. Just a little more friendly, I think. He was a lot friendlier than what Han Solo would be.
I don't know. He wasn't all that friendly.
I think he was relatively friendly.
He was like always reluctant to do the right thing, but he always kind of ended up doing it.
It's a great show. We said it in the last episode, I know, but go watch Firefly any way you can.
Yeah.
There's only 8 episodes, right? I think it was 8 or 10.
No, there's got to be more than that, right?
It's very short.
Wow, it seems like it was way longer.
And then they played them,
and they had a movie.
and they
Serenity.
played them out of order when they originally played the show. They played them out of order on Fox, and that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because it didn't seem like cohesive story, because it wasn't.
Right.
Because they played like 3 first, and then they played the pilot, and then 2, and then 4. Really goofy. But yeah, then they had a movie later on, Serenity. That's great too. I absolutely love Firefly, but it does not hold a candle to Guardians of the Galaxy. And that is, again, solely based off the movies, because that is the only reason why Guardians of the Galaxy is in anybody's mind.
Yeah.
You will not read the comics. If you do read the comics, I'm not telling you not to. I think the
new comics are pretty good.
The newest run's pretty good.
The animated show on Disney XD is really good. I've been watching that for a while.
Never saw it, but I should watch it. But obviously, this pick goes to Guardians of the Galaxy. Way better. And the soundtrack,
Yeah.
spot on.
So this was my hardest pick of the entire round
Really?
by far, because I am a huge Firefly fan.
Yeah, but I know who you picked.
I'm a huge Firefly flan.
Flan. It's that caramel
That's
little jello
Mexican dessert.
desserty thing.
Yeah.
Is that Mexican? Is it a Mexican dessert?
Yeah, it's Mexican dessert.
It's Italian.
No, is it?
Pretty positive it is. I'm gonna look it up.
Maybe it's Spanish.
Start talking about your pick. I'm gonna look it up.
So anyway, I love Firefly, and I also like. I feel in general that if you take that character, it probably has more emotional resonance because it was on television, so you have more time to connect to that character. All these types of things. But at the end of the day, Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 are 2 of my favorite movies of all time. And I absolutely love that team and those movies, and it's based solely off the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I don't know anything about the comics, but, Groot is awesome.
Yeah.
Rocket, awesome. Star-Lord,
I
awesome.
think Rocket is probably the best character in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
I really do. I think that's because he's got a ton of heart. He takes a lot of things like to heart. He's very serious about what he does. He doesn't appreciate obviously being called like a raccoon. He thinks of himself much better than that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
He doesn't even know what a raccoon is.
he's always trying to do what is like best for the team, even though he puts on like a front, like that he's like this hard ass, smuggler or thief or whatever. He's not. He's like a softie, and he's gonna do whatever he has to do to protect the team, and I love it.
Well, there you go. So the right side of the bracket for me is going to be in the Sweet 16, Harry Potter versus Wolverine. What am I going to do? Nightwing versus Batman, Ghostbusters versus Thor, Ant-Man versus the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And my Sweet 16 on this side goes with Spawn versus Wolverine, Nightwing versus Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Thor, and Ant-Man versus Guardians of the Galaxy. We differed quite a bit over here, Chris.
There's a lot. This thing's heating up, man.
It is heating up.
It's heating up.
So I've said it before, but we are literally picking these right before we record. And So all of these are new to us as we record, and I just look at this like I really don't know how it's going to play out. I know who I love.
I don't know how it's going to play out either. I have no idea.
I really don't know how my picks are going to play out because when I stare at who is matched up against each other, it's like, man, there's just something my heart says about each one of them now that it's getting withered down. Elite Eight may kill me.
It's going to be brutal, man.
I may not survive this.
Yeah.
Snarf Madness has reached a point where we may not be able to come back from.
Well, I'll go down that road.
Will you? With me?
Yeah.
As a team?
We'll be brothers in Snarf.
Forebs. With the number 4.
4.
That's fun. Okay. So I don't know what you wanted to do, but I got some what you're watching that I've been dying to talk about.
I have some what I've been watching as well.
There are some shows out there right now, Christopher.
Are you doing some quarantine binging? You haven't really been quarantined.
I haven't been quarantined in the slightest.
I've been at work too.
So. Oh, real quick, flan, its history stems from the Roman Empire, and
so Mexican.
The Romans made it first, and then it ended up being a French dessert more than anything. But yes, they do serve it in a lot of Spanish restaurants. Went from the Roman Empire to France for a long time, and then the Spanish were particularly taken by it.
And they brought it to Mexico.
And they were the first ones to add a sweet caramel sauce to the top.
So the flan we all know and love is Spanish, technically.
Is of Spanish descent, I guess, yeah.
Which a lot of the Spanish stuff is kind of in Mexico.
I mean, in 1518 is when it first landed in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
That's a bit.
Yeah.
That's a minute.
That's a hot minute.
All right, there is your history of flan.
Flan, the dessert that keeps giving.
I don't know if I've actually ever had flan.
Oh, really?
I don't think I've ever eaten it.
It's not great.
It's just like a pudding, right?
Yeah,
like a really hard.
No, it's
jello.
not hard. It's like a gelatinous.
Well, I mean, like
globule.
Harder than pudding.
Yeah,
or more solid, I should say, than pudding.
It's like a Jello jiggler.
It is Jello. Give me a little Jello jiggler. I can't do it.
Give me a little pudding. That was bad.
The funny part about this is that's probably like the 4th episode you've done that. I think it's so funny.
I do like flan's not my favorite dessert, ethnic dessert. Baklava, really like that.
Oh, that is so good.
It is the best.
I don't know why I had this. Kathy Lowry,
It's Greek.
my mother-in-law, had brought some home one time. She had a big pan of it. I cut it up, and it's so flaky and good.
Yeah. With like honey and nuts. And
so good.
baklava.
That's a Jewish treat, right?
No, I think it's Greek.
Oh, Greek. Okay.
I think it's from Greece.
The Grecians?
At least you get it at Greek restaurants.
They're so gracious over in the Grecian islands.
Are they?
I don't know. Just kind of rhymed.
All right, so we can do it. Do you want to do a little bit of news first, or do you want to do what you're watching?
I had a little bit of news. Just one little story that I wanted to get out real quick. There was a little tidbit dropped from a news organization that says Spider-Man 3 is going to have a team up.
Ooh.
Do you know with who?
Venom?
Nope. It's going to blow your
Spider-Man is teaming up with somebody? Uh-huh. Oh, man. Let me think. Who does he team up with a lot? Like, is it a new character or an existing character?
Existing.
Existing character. In the MCU?
Yeah.
It's not Iron Man.
Now, this is just talks. There is, I would not say this is solid proof, but there have been some leaks, and they're claiming this is going to be a team up in Spider-Man 3.
Let me think here.
It's one of his biggest allies throughout his years.
Daredevil?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Well, it's not from the MCU, first off.
Oh, you said MC. Well,
Yeah.
I just meant Marvel, like in Marvel.
That's why it was throwing me off. I'm like, well, he's usually
No,
Daredevil.
Not from the MCU. I just meant Marvel in general.
So they finally
comics.
are doing it. They're finally bringing Daredevil to the big screen.
Possibly. They're going to team up Spider-Man and Daredevil.
Who do you
and
think will play Daredevil?
It's been blowing up the internet. I don't know why you haven't seen it. It's all over. You
Yeah.
need to get on Reddit because people are drawing fan like fan art up the wazoo with Spider-Man and Daredevil together.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. As soon as I read that, it may be one of my favorite movies of all time if they do it right.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be amazing. I'm in.
I am so in. Fighting in Hell's Kitchen.
I always thought it was funny though.
Spidey and
if you watch like the old
the
Spider-Man
devil.
cartoons from the '90s, Daredevil would show up quite a bit, and he would basically be swinging around with his batons, the same as Spider-Man swinging around on his
How?
webs. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. They won't do that.
No,
in a movie.
But they gotta. See, that's the thing. That's
How
why
does he
Daredevil
keep
is
up?
so difficult
Yeah.
to do in a movie. It's so difficult when you have other heroes and other.
Well,
villains.
it's not difficult to do on his own. It's not difficult
No.
to do in the TV shows.
No,
obviously.
but when you get to compare him next to a superhero,
that shoots webs, yeah,
yeah, and
that's
as strong as,
a spider
yeah.
in comparison to
strong.
body size.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited, more
I'm
excited
in.
than anything in the world.
I don't care how they do it. I'm sure they're going to put something together that I will enjoy.
They'll figure it out.
I am not hard to
They
please.
figured out a way to do what's his nuts, Mysterio, and that was great.
They did. Wasn't that so good?
Yeah,
Did you see my post about Spider-Man work from home?
yeah.
That was funny. I stole that off Reddit as well. I don't know who the creator was, but props to you, bud, because that was amazing.
You're supposed to credit those people.
I did.
Okay.
Yep, it's in the post.
All right. Any other news?
That's all I had.
All right. What have you been watching? I got a couple things.
Oh
but
my
You can
gosh.
go first.
Hulu is on fire, Christopher.
Hulu is on fire, Jerry.
I love everything Hulu is doing. Man, I've been searching through the shows on there. There's like 10 of them I want to watch right now. There's some movies on there I want to watch. But the two shows I have delved into and have stolen my life are apparently a week-to-week show because I only made it to 3 episodes and then I have to wait. The first one being a show called Dave.
Okay, so that is number one on my what I've been watching list as well.
Did you start it?
And I am in love with this show.
I am so in love with this show.
It is so good.
It's like the character from Silicon Valley, like the awkwardness of that Thomas Middleditch, but in a rapper and a little better than him. As a rapper, like a white rapper, and he's just awkward and funny. He's very abrupt. And
This is based on that guy's real life.
Yeah, I know. His name's Dave
Something.
B something, but he has a rapper persona named Lil Dicky, and he's on YouTube. He's an actual rapper. He does things, and he's been made famous from YouTube because of videos that he's made, and he's very good at rapping.
He's also a very good actor, and he's super funny.
He is so funny, and that 3rd episode
Is unbelievable.
blew me away. Like it absolutely. Now this is not a
And it
children's
has some
show.
heart to it too.
It does, but it's not a children's show. Wouldn't call it family friendly in the least.
Oh no. No.
This is after the kids go to bed, you watch it, with your husband or with your wife or whatever, or maybe alone, whatever you do. But you will laugh your ass off at this show because it's just so great. He's so awkward.
Yeah.
And him meeting like other rappers and just not knowing what to do and just bumbling around is so great.
Yeah. It is. It's a really awesome show. I can't say enough great things about it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
It's probably my favorite show on right now. I literally binged through the first 3 episodes that are available and then was like devastated to find out
I
that
was
it's week
too.
to week. I think there might be one tonight though.
No, I thought it comes out on Wednesdays.
Oh no.
I thought did you watch 4 episodes of it?
No, I only watched 3. So there's a new one
So
out
I
tonight?
think there's a new one out.
Yes.
Yeah, because I want to go watch that
Such
immediately.
a great show.
The next one. Do you have another one that you've been watching?
I have a bunch, but go ahead.
Well, you talked about this last week that
Oh, yeah.
I started watching.
That's one of mine too.
Devs.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I love this show too.
This one blew me away in
And
a
these-
completely opposite way that
You
Dave
gave
did.
credit all to Hulu, but these are FX shows.
They are, but they're FX. They're presented by FX.
So they're not on that station FX?
I don't know. It says in an FX presentation or an
Oh.
FX production
Okay.
is what it
I didn't know
says. Right before they start playing, it says an FX production.
Yeah.
Whether that means they go on FX or not, I don't know. But I'm watching them off Hulu. Devs is a weird,
It's intense, man.
intense, strange show that at first I didn't know if I'd like, but I have to keep watching it.
Yeah.
It has drawn me in to where I'm like really wondering what's happening. There's this huge statue of a child in the middle of the woods that is strange, and I think it has a purpose, like an overarching purpose, I think.
I have no idea.
What's his name?
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman is very strange, and he looks completely different than you'd ever
It's
expect.
very good.
Incredible. He's an incredible, like you believe him when he speaks, but there's just this underlying thing with him and what they're developing and creating, and then it's just weird. It feels like Westworld to me in a way, but way better.
Yeah.
Because I was not really sold with the first season of Westworld. Even at the end, that's fine.
I mean, I don't know that you can compare it with the unbelievable production value of Westworld, but
I'm not basing it on production
Right.
value. I'm just saying on how I perceive the show. It seems similar in the way of like you don't really know what's going on,
for sure.
and
You don't.
you know that there's a bigger like overarching story to this. You just haven't got to it yet, and you're waiting for them to like give you any.
They're doing a really good job of building a world.
Yes,
And it's a world that you want to hang out in to try and figure out what the f- is going on.
right. I don't know.
It's kind of a mystery. It's kind of a thriller. It's kind of horror.
Kind of, yeah. It's like it's a lot of suspense and thriller, but in a slow pace.
Yeah, the tracking effects.
That's exactly what makes you feel uncomfortable most of the
it's
time.
uneasy, yeah.
Is just this like ominous tone.
I think it's going to change as it goes along a little bit.
I think it'll speed up a little bit.
Yeah, I do too. And I think it'll be a little more thriller-esque going forward than the first 2 episodes, which are very creepy, really.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that it's when I say slow or like it takes a while. I don't mean that in a negative. I just mean like the pace is slow, but throughout the whole experience, you're wondering, like, what the heck is going to happen next? And
Yeah.
why did he do that? And then this video was played in reverse. Okay, what happens after that? Just, I don't know. There is a lot more to that, and you need to get on Hulu and watch this show, and you definitely need to watch Dave because that's a treasure.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 big ones. What do you got?
Well, those. I watched there's one show that I've been super sucked into. Me and Cash have been watching it called Lego Masters.
I started that last night.
Yeah, it's a competition reality show for people building Legos with Will Arnett as the host, and he is great.
I was just going to say, I tell you what.
He is like the best part about
it. The best thing about this show is Will Arnett hosting and the way they kind of give you a behind the scenes feel.
Yeah, it really does feel like behind the scenes, and he's honestly like just on all the time. He's just a super funny guy.
I don't think there's really much of a script for him
no,
either.
I don't think so.
He's just speaking.
Yeah.
And they had a guest on there. What's her name? Rami or Malik?
Rami Malek?
Malik. She's the girl Blossom.
Okay.
She's got a super strange.
Rami Malek is
No, I know.
totally not that person.
I understand that, but she's got a name like that, and
Yeah.
she was Blossom. She was on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
It's like I can't even think of it. It's like so strange.
It's Mayim Bialik.
Okay. Do you see where I got that then?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that weird of a name. It's just Mayim Bialik. Come on.
Right. Hear that every day. She's super smart too. She's like an incredible.
Yeah, she's like a neuroscientist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She was on there, and they were literally having a conversation on the stairs.
that's the only episode I haven't seen, by the way.
Oh, really?
My
Why would you
DVR
not?
didn't record that one, so I haven't watched that
It's on
one
Hulu.
episode. I know. I just haven't watched it yet.
Just watch it on Hulu.
I will. I just haven't yet.
No, I mean, watch the whole series on Hulu. Why are you recording it?
Because I don't like watching commercials.
Oh, yeah. Hulu has those.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's a fun show, but it has not sucked me in. I fell asleep during it.
Oh, man, I love it. I love seeing what these people build, and I like how the show it's really fun. It's just a really fun show. I enjoy it a lot.
What I would call these Lego masters is like engineers.
Some of them, not all of them.
I know some of them are legitimate engineers, but I feel like you're an engineer to be able to craft what they
Oh, yeah,
make.
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's some really... Stick with it. You have not even come close to the best episodes.
Oh, no. Are you done with it?
I'm up to date. I think it's still airing.
Oh, how many?
There's only been 6, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I watched 4 of them last night, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, then you got the gist. But I really enjoy it. I love that show.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. The other one I've been watching, I watched the season finale of Avenue 5, which I've really enjoyed this show the entire season. It was the season finale last week. I really like the cast a lot. Hugh Laurie and Josh Gad and everybody on it. It has its ups and downs in general. I was a little disappointed, frankly, by the season finale. I don't want to give anything away. I was a little bit disappointed in the season finale, but not because it wasn't good, just because it's not what I wanted to happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But in general, I really, really like this show. It's really funny, and it's totally worth watching.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it getting kind of slammed by critics?
Yeah, I didn't get very good reviews, but, whatever, critics. I thought it was
Yeah,
entertaining. Here's the deal. It's a dark comedy.
It is.
So if you don't like dark comedy, which a lot of people don't,
I don't know why.
it's not a general mainstream kind of comedy that it's not like funny, ha. It's like, let's laugh at dark things and misery
Yes.
and sarcasm, and that's kind of stuff I enjoy. So I really, really enjoyed it a lot. The other one that I just started because everybody is telling me that we have to watch it over and over again.
Yes.
I finally am like, you know what? I have to sit down and watch Altered Carbon.
I started it as well last week.
I can't. I'm having a very difficult time.
Yes.
I don't know. I cannot get into these episodes. Like the first, I think I've tried to watch the first 3 100 times now. And
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I don't know what I'm not getting about this show.
I think I'm on the 5th episode. I can't remember if it's the 3rd or the 5th. I don't know why those numbers stick out to me, but have you seen an episode where I can't remember the main character's name, but he was like captured and they're torturing him I think it's the 5th episode. They're torturing him and whatnot.
I think I've only seen the first 2 now.
That's pretty interesting, but it's just so repetitive over and over again. Like, I don't know. I felt like they could have went a different way, but I completely agree with you where it has not.
I don't know why, what I'm
sucked me
missing.
in.
I really don't. Because everybody's telling me how great it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the elements are there for something that I would really enjoy.
Everybody keeps telling me that how great the 2nd season is, but honestly, I never heard anybody speak about the first.
Well,
I mean, Dude was here and told us that we needed to watch it, but I've never heard him speak about the first season before this or anybody else I know.
right.
But now that the 2nd season came out, everybody's like, oh, 2nd season Altered Carbon, so awesome. So maybe it's just the 2nd season that's good.
Maybe.
And maybe we just need to trudge through all these episodes in the first one.
Or just skip it.
Yeah. Or just kind of go to the last 2 maybe and watch those.
I don't know. I'm going to keep trying. I got not a lot else to watch right now, so I'm going to try it.
Yeah, and now that they're making us wait week to week for shows.
Yeah, but like Dave and Devs, I find vastly more interesting and superior.
So do I.
As well as Avenue 5 and all of those.
Hi, I'm Dave. Hi, I'm Dave. That's the theme song.
It's oh god, it's so good. What else you got?
So great. What else did I have? I've watched a lot of MasterChef. I love MasterChef. I've watched like the last 3 seasons just for the heck of it. Because I missed those in my cord cutting days. I'm a cord cutter, right?
Yeah, an umbilical cord cutter.
Cut the cord
You
3
just
times.
hang around the hospital cutting umbilical cords.
I've cut the cord 4 times now. 3 umbilical cords and 1 satellite cord.
Yeah.
That's all. But anyway, so I haven't seen MasterChef since then. I watch it all the time. Used to. So I decided to watch the seasons that I missed. They have them on Hulu, and it's so good. I love it. The newest show that's coming out, I can't remember if it started this week because I missed it if it did, but it's definitely starting next week, is Top Chef.
Oh, okay.
And Top Chef is one of my faves. Cooking competitions.
What channel is that on?
That's a Bravo show.
All right.
But they also have that on Hulu, so I will be watching it.
I'll check that out because I went back to start Hell's Kitchen the last season, the one you told me to watch.
Yeah.
And
the All-Stars.
Yeah, I love Gordon Ramsay and I like Hell's Kitchen, but the people on it are really obnoxious.
They are.
On that season particularly. I've seen other seasons I
enjoyed. And they did that completely on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they picked all of the people that didn't like each other just so that it would create extreme drama. I mean, when they call
I do like the dishes that they're making, though.
They call it an all-star competition, but yet they picked like 6 of them from the same season because none of them liked each other.
Right.
Well, that seems silly. Like, you've had 10 years, and out of the 10 competitors, you're going to pick 6 from the same season?
Right.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
So obviously that's what they were doing. But yeah, the food that they make, really, really good. Yeah. It is a really good competition once it gets into it. And it's very interesting on who wins, but I like it. I like everything about that show. But MasterChef's amazing, but Top Chef is just above all of them.
It's above all the other chefs.
Have you ever watched Top Chef?
No.
You've never watched a single season of Top Chef?
No.
Dude, you are so missing out on exquisite food.
Really?
Oh, this is like legitimate cooking to its finest. There's no production there like it is on these other shows we've been talking about, like how they're so overly produced to create drama and whatnot.
So it's like Lego Masters, but with cooking.
This just shows you the cooking. They all live in the same house. They all are competing against each other, and sometimes they're on teams. But it's just a different level of production to where it's like legitimately showing them cook the food, and it's at such a high level that I don't know how they create the dishes they do when they have like very limited ingredients sometimes, or other times they have all the ingredients in the world and they have to create such high level dishes. It's just amazing to me.
I mean, I think my problem in general is just with cooking shows.
Yeah.
I love cooking shows.
Yeah.
But I feel like when the Frugal Gourmet went off the air,
it just like really went downhill.
Like nothing could match that level of excellence for me.
Did you ever watch Channel 11 as a child?
Yeah, that was Frugal Gourmet was on Channel 11.
That's what I figured. But
I'm
I was
not
just making
joking.
Sure.
I loved that show.
What about that Cajun cook? Did you ever watch that Cajun guy that used to cook? I don't remember his name, but it was like
Cajun cook on PBS.
Yeah.
Justin Wilson.
That's the guy.
Yeah, I do remember now that I see the guy's picture.
Yeah, he was amazing. He had like a catchphrase, and I can't remember it, but it was an older gentleman. He always wore suspenders.
Yeah.
And he could cook some shrimp.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I loved the Frugal Gourmet. And the guy's name was Jeff Smith, apparently. I didn't know that. Anyway.
And, Yan Can Cook.
Yan Can Cook. I don't remember that.
You never watched Yan Can Cook?
No, I don't think so.
That one was by far the best. He was by far the best. He always used a huge...
like a wok?
Well, yeah, he used woks and other pans, but the knife, it was like a butcher's...
Yeah, now that I see the picture, I remember seeing it when I was a kid.
Yan Can Cook.
I don't remember watching it a lot, but I did.
And every time he'd like chop things, he'd say, yeah, yeah, and he'd like make, like kung fu noises basically while he cooked.
I do kind of remember that.
He was awesome. He's a really good chef. I think he just passed away actually recently he got some cancer.
We should do like the top cooking shows of all time.
Yeah, now that the more I talk about it, I keep thinking of different shows that I used to watch. Even as a kid, there was cooking shows. Did you ever watch Julia Child, like old Julia Child?
Yeah, occasionally, not like all the time, but I did.
She's really good.
Yeah.
I've got a Julia Child cookbook that is...
I have one as well.
the shiz for simple food. Like simple food that you can make at home that is so good. Little things that you don't even think about doing.
Yeah, because like you just have to have ingredients. That's
I
the
was
thing.
just going to say, the biggest thing about it is making sure you have the ingredients. Because if you open this book and you're like, oh, I'm going to make this regular old chicken dish. And then it's like, you need a turnip. Well, I don't frickin' buy turnips, okay? Today I'm going to have to go buy turnips.
I made some, I used to make chips out of turnips. Oh, no, never mind. That was rutabagas.
Oh, a good rutabaga, man.
I actually bought a mandolin slicer so I could make rutabaga chips.
I've never bought a mandolin and I need one. Seed and Top has a mandolin and I need to get one like that.
Well, yeah, like when back in the day when I was like hardcore doing the no carb thing.
Yeah.
That's what I would.
So rutabagas don't have no carbs in them? I feel like they're starchy as shit. Seeing as how if you make a good rutabaga puree, you'd never notice the difference between that and, well, turnips too. That and potatoes.
Yeah, and then I made mashed turnips.
Yeah.
Or was it parsnips?
Parsnips.
I don't remember what it was.
Parsnips are like a potato.
I had to like boil them, and it was a whole thing.
But I feel like you wouldn't make any of those things on a low carb diet.
Yeah, well, I did.
Okay,
so deal with it. But they're very, it's very bitter.
Well, don't you have to blanch them in water first?
Yeah. But I don't remember if it was the rutabagas or the other one, the turnips. One of them is super bitter, but only some people can taste the bitterness. It's genetic. It's kind of like the asparagus pea. Did you know that? That's a genetic thing.
It is?
Only some people can, when you eat asparagus.
Because I've never had that. I've never had a situation where my pea stunk.
But your pea did stink. You just can't smell it.
Oh, really?
Correct. Yeah.
Then does it really stink?
Yes.
How do you know?
Well, because other people can smell it. You just can't.
But I've never had anybody come in and smell my pee, so how do you know that's true?
I guess I don't.
It's like the whole tree falling in the forest thing.
Yeah, like does a bear shit in the woods.
Right. Does he?
Asparagus pea genetic. When you do like 23andMe, it will tell you whether you have the genetic variant to have stinky pee.
Well, I know my pee stinks.
After you eat asparagus, some people notice that their urine has a strong, unusual odor. This was first thought to result from genetic variation in whether or not sulfur compounds in asparagus were secreted into the urine. Oh, I should just open the article before I start reading it.
Probably should, yeah. That'd be a good idea.
But with the allele for secreting being dominant, later it was suggested that everyone secretes the compound in their urine, but only some people can smell the compounds. Better controlled experiments have shown that there is variation in both traits. Some people secrete the compounds in their urine but can't smell them, while some people don't secrete the compounds but can smell them in other people's urine. This complication means that the ability to smell stinky compounds in one's own urine after eating asparagus is not a simple genetic trait. It's not known whether the two separate traits, secreting the compound and being able to smell them, have a simple genetic basis. So I guess I'm kind of right and wrong about the whole thing.
Yeah. It does say that only certain people can smell it.
And only certain people secrete it.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Interesting though, huh?
That's probably what I told you why, I didn't smell my own. It's because I don't secrete it. But I do with coffee. Holy smokes.
What?
If I drink a lot of coffee and then pee, it smells like coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Mine does. Big time. It's weird.
A rutabaga and turnips too, some people can't taste the bitterness. But the people that can taste the bitterness, it's unbearable.
And that's what you thought?
Yeah, they tasted bitter to me. The rutabaga chips were not edible.
Oh, really?
No, it was a fail.
What about Marley?
She didn't like them either.
Okay. Did you fry them?
I baked them.
Baked them. Okay. So maybe it had something to do with the baking process.
But I think, they weren't like, because I made mashed turnips too, and they were a little bitter, but I actually like those. So
well, rutabagas and turnips are different.
they're very similar though.
Well, they might be similar, but parsnips and potatoes are similar too.
A rutabaga is a cross between cabbage and a turnip.
Between cabbage and a turnip.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who did that cross, I wonder?
Oh, well, Dr. Rutabaga.
Of course it would have been.
He discovered this all. Don't you know?
Have you went and saw the new Pixar movie yet?
Oh, yeah.
Onward?
Yeah, I saw it when I was going to the shutdown movie theater, Jerry.
No.
There are no movie theaters.
It's been out for a while. Amy went and saw it with the boys.
Really? No, I didn't see it. I
weeks
heard it was
ago.
really good. Got good reviews, made a bunch of money.
I didn't go with.
Suffered a disastrous fate at the hands of COVID-19.
Of course. Actually, that's a big thing because so did Bloodshot and a couple other movies are being destroyed because nobody can literally go and see movies.
Yeah, it's a huge
That's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, what do we do?
Dude, we're in a whole new world now.
A whole new world.
I usually do that.
That's where we'll be, right?
She does say that at the end.
Yeah. A wondrous place for you and me.
It's pretty good. No, yeah, we're in a whole new world, Jerry. I swear, things are never going to be the same.
Kevin Bacon combats coronavirus with 6 degrees social distancing campaign.
Oh, that Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
When is he making his Marvel Cinematic Universe debut? Because I would enjoy that.
He has already, hasn't he?
No, he was in the X-Men movie, but
That's what it was, X-Men.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
But he'd be a great villain.
he basically made it then in the X-Men.
He'd be a great villain in the MCU.
I don't want him as a villain.
He could be like a Spider-Man villain of some kind. He could be Norman Osborn.
Why are we doing that still? Why do we continuously have to do Norman Osborn?
Well, it can be because he's the biggest, probably one of the biggest Spider-Man villains.
Who cares?
So you don't want to ever see another Green Goblin? You don't ever want to see another Dr. Octopus? Doc Ock? Come
Yeah,
on.
Doc Ock would be fine. I'm not real intrigued with Green Goblin. He's fine, but I don't know. There are so many better characters than that.
Like, who do you want?
I want to see Venom in there for sure against Spider-Man. I want to see who else. I guess I don't really know very many villains from him.
Well, we already saw.
Hobgoblin, I would see, which we saw once.
We saw him once, and what?
Yeah, isn't that what the one guy turned into in Spider-Man 3? Oh, no, he turned into Venom. Like the goofy guy. He was like,
Topher Grace?
yeah, remember when he was like all ragged looking?
Yeah.
No, didn't one of them turn into Hobgoblin?
No, they haven't done Hobgoblin in the movie universe, and he's kind of a B-list villain.
Really? I like him.
He's just like a hired thug.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's like a hired thug.
Start naming some villains. Let me see if I remember.
All right, Chameleon,
Meh.
Vulture, we've already seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Great one. I would see him again in a heartbeat.
Tinkerer,
No.
Doc Ock,
Yes.
Sandman. We could see
Oh,
another
yeah.
Sandman.
Give me some
We
Sandman.
had him once, though.
I know. And it was good. I liked him.
Lizard, we saw him once or twice, maybe. The Living Brain.
Doesn't ring
I
a
don't know
bell.
what that is. Electro, we saw him once. It was terrible.
Yeah, not good.
Mysterio, Green Goblin, Kraven. They could do Kraven, the Hunter.
Yeah. Who would play him?
David Harbour.
You think so? He can't now.
Nah.
He's the Red Guardian.
I don't know. Somebody huge, somebody big, and muscular and manly looking.
The Rock.
Harry.
Oh, The Rock's not Harry.
He's Russian, right?
Sure.
Yeah, he's Russian.
So-
Sergei Kravenov.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah, there you go. Scorpion. We got. Let's see. I'm trying to find people that you would notice. Rhino.
Ooh, I do know Rhino.
He
That
was
would be
in one of the
cool.
movies at the very end.
Was he?
Yeah, in one of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, there was what's his name in a like a mechanical rhino suit.
Yes, I remember that. Right at the end.
What's his name? He's like
I don't remember who played him, but I remember the suit and him running through a wall.
it was Paul Giamatti.
Yes, it was Paul
Yeah.
Giamatti.
Yeah. Shocker, Kingpin, obviously. Silvermane.
I so bad want to see Vincent, I always say his last name wrong.
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio.
Okay, we got Morbius. We got.
Morbius will be great because that movie's coming out this year.
They should definitely do Black Cat. I can't believe they haven't done that already. Hobgoblin, of course.
Well, you told me he's like a B-lister.
Yeah, he is.
Bleh.
Venom, Carnage. I don't know. There's a bunch more. There's tons more. I mean, there's an unlimited supply of Spider-Man villains.
Yeah, there are. That's why I said, why do we have to do Norman Osborn every single time? It's like the argument with Batman. You know, all they ever want to do is the Joker or Catwoman. Like, that's all you want to. That's all they ever put in these movies. There's so many other characters you could pull from.
They really should do Black Cat, though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
well, that strayed from what you're watching into something totally different, but that's fine. That's what we do.
Yes. You got anything else?
Not really. I have an article we could go over about movie releases, but I doubt it's going to be accurate anymore. Mulan's supposed to come out March 27th.
Ooh, they ought to push that back.
I completely think that they would, at this point, push it back.
That's like next week. They haven't done it.
They have to. They're not going to release it.
There's no movie theaters open.
Exactly.
Like anywhere in this country.
Like, all releases have to be pushed back now, right?
I would think so. They'd be really dumb not to.
But yeah, Mulan...
Disney is crashing and dying.
The first critics' reviews had come out prior to everything being closed or canceled, and they said it's like more of an epic story than you can imagine.
Oh, I want to see it. It looks amazing.
From what I've read, they said, you know, even from the trailers, everybody's hyped about it being this big time, you know, Disney story, and they're like, it's absolutely living up to that, even with no music.
Yeah.
You know? Which I think is a phenomenal move on Disney's part, taking the music out of it and making it a legitimate story.
Yeah.
And I am very psyched for it. But now who knows when we're going to be able to see it.
I think that's probably like probably one of my most anticipated movie releases of the year.
Really?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it.
I would agree. Except for Dune.
Oh, Dune. Yeah, Dune.
I mean, that comes out in like November.
Yeah.
But I gotta pull that up now because I have to see that.
See what? I
gotta see which movies are coming out because there's a bunch of them actually that you would want to see.
I mean, it doesn't. No movie's gonna come out till like all summer.
Yeah, I know.
We're on a moratorium here.
A moratorium?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's like you don't know what a moratorium is?
I guess not.
It's like a waiting period.
It is?
Yeah.
It sounds like dead. Like something's dead.
No, it's a temporary prohibition of activity. It's like the actual perfect word for what's going on.
Really?
Yeah, we're having a moratorium.
This isn't it. Where did I put it?
As thrilling as this is, next week we are going to do Snarf Madness, Sweet 16.
Yeah, Sweet 16's coming up. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be hard. This is where we get down to the nitty gritty. And Chris and I have to do some serious soul searching.
Yeah, and we'll actually we'll give you guys an update on scores, who's winning, who's leading. Do you remember how many points you get for the Sweet 16?
We go 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Okay.
Right?
No, that's not right. But
I think we went up like by 2 incrementally, except for the first round.
I've told Jerry 8 times to just to look back in the old episode.
That's what we did.
You looked it up?
Yes, that's what we did. We went 1, 2, 4, 6, 8.
Okay, and you get 10 points for picking the champion?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, you're going to start racking up some real points then going forward.
Right. Incrementally, you get a ton more. That's why I said first round. I mean, even if you think you're behind a little bit, you can make that up big time later on because that's what happened last year. We had some people that were way behind, and then the last 2 rounds, they picked them all correct and blew past everyone and ended up winning.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're going to have a difficulty right now if you hadn't picked Daredevil. or
Yes, if you didn't pick Daredevil, Batman, Spider-Man,
but you never know.
you never know.
Things can change a lot. That 10 points at the end makes a huge difference too.
But yeah, I mean, I would assume most people have picked those. We really haven't went over all of the brackets to look at what you guys have picked yet. But I'm assuming you guys have picked those main names. It'll be the in-between names that even we were kind of weary about that are going to make the difference here.
I just picked a random bracket.
Yes.
I just want to see how somebody's doing.
Okay. Random bracket.
It's Kurg Blaze.
Yes, I work with him.
Okay. He's doing pretty good.
He's told me about some mistakes that he's made along
Well, he's
the way.
definitely made some mistakes. But if you look overall, yeah, he's kind of, it's interesting.
But I've heard from a lot of people recently that they've made some mistakes, and we're surprised at picks that we've made.
He's in pretty good shape, though. I think getting to the Sweet 16, he's going to be in pretty good shape.
Through a lot of people with the She-Hulk pick, without making the She-Hulk
Yeah,
pick.
that's a little surprising to me. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just because we just talked about
We literally
She-Hulk.
had just talked
And
about She-Hulk.
Being
yes.
us, we, of course, like exaggerated like how much we love She-Hulk.
Right.
More than we probably should.
And I got really like intense about the newest run of She-Hulk and how great she's going to be and all this kind of stuff and how she's got such great content. And then when we went and ranked them, we're like, well, we haven't really read much about her. I haven't, at least, which is true. I haven't.
Actually, I'm not going to look at any more brackets because I haven't picked mine and I don't want to like somehow
Be
silently influence myself.
Subconsciously influenced by the players.
So make sure you're following along. Next week's the Sweet 16. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, shoot it our way. There's not a lot of stuff going on right now because everything's like shut down. So if you have ideas of stuff you want us to talk about, let us know. And head on over to patreon.com/snarfcomics and check it out. We just released a new Patreon episode.
Yeah, brand new episode was just released a week ago.
Yeah.
And I sent out stickers to all the patrons.
We had a big revelation in that episode. I had to get on my hands and knees and beg forgiveness for Jerry for making horrible, horrible mistakes. Mistakes were made, Jerry.
You made huge mistakes.
And you were right, and I was wrong, and I had to admit it on air. It was humiliating.
He made a crack judgment right off the bat about a movie that he was just...
I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life, guys.
Really big mistake.
So I reveal all that right there in that Patreon episode.
Your mistake has been rebuked.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
But you will never know if you don't subscribe at patreon.com.
Get on that Patreon. Get involved, people. We want you to be involved with Snarf Comics, right?
Yeah. Also, check out our website. We release a blog article every week that's basically a recap of the show. But we're happy to put up anything if you have anything interesting that you want to write. You got all this time. A lot of people have time sitting at home right now.
Yep.
If you want to, well, first of all, I would encourage you to read some of these amazing comics that we're always talking about. Because
absolutely,
a lot of people always say to us, they're like, hey, I want to read this, but I just never seem to find the time. Hey, now you get some time.
Now you definitely have the time to do it.
And if you're just completely lost on your own, just in a world of loneliness and you need help and guidance, we can tell you some stuff to read or watch on TV.
Yeah, or just give you general guidance.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to cooking or comic books.
And we'll invite you over to hang out. No, we won't.
No, you could stand outside my window.
Yeah.
But you ain't coming in my house.
We will treat this with all the desperation of a zombie apocalypse.
I mean,
that's apparently what's going on.
That's what we're being told to do. So that's what we're going to do.
Except there's no zombies, Jerry.
Yet.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this virus could take hold.
And instead of the virus coming from outer space, it came from a wildlife market in China.
Bats.
Bats infecting pangolins?
Listen up here. A guy ate a bat.
No, that's not what happened.
I thought he ate a bat.
So what happened is there's this animal, and I'm trying to look up the name.
I know what a pangolin is. They're like an armored looking.
It's like an armadillo.
Yeah.
So
big.
I don't know. Want to rehash all this, but they got these wildlife markets. They got this taste for exotic wild meats
in
China.
Wuhan,
all over
China.
China. They're all over.
But the Wuhan market, look at that. It's got wild shit in there.
Yeah, pangolins are often smuggled into China where there is a demand for meat and scales. They use the scales for Chinese medicine. They're an endangered species. Shouldn't be doing it. It's illegal. Anyway, they bring them into these wildlife markets. Wild game is wild.
Yes.
It's not something to be screwed around with. But what they do is they bring them in these markets and alive. This is part of the problem, right?
Oh, okay.
These are live markets. These animals are alive in these markets. All kinds of animals.
Uh-huh.
In cages, right next to each other, on top of each other.
Oh, my gosh.
So live bats, which bats carry a lot of diseases.
So many diseases. It's like a bigger mosquito.
Yeah. Live pangolins. And pangolins, just so happens, the animal themselves is one that's like a magnet for disease and viruses. That's just, they have very weak immune systems.
Strange.
So they bring in a bat, the bat virus mutates somehow and infects a pangolin.
Okay.
And that virus then gets taken into this pangolin's body, which doesn't have a very good immune system, propagates like crazy, somehow transmits to a human. That's what happens.
Well, they had to have eaten it or something, right?
No, you don't have to have eaten it. I don't think. They might have, but I don't think you have to have eaten it to get a virus transmission that way. So a lot of the problems that's going on right now is viruses that are jumping species. They're never meant to be in pangolins because they don't have any natural immunity to this bat virus.
Right.
But since they're such an immunodeficient animal in general, they get this novel virus, comes, it gets them, blah, blah, blah. And then the virus jumps out from that animal to humans, which have no immunity to it because it's a novel virus for them. So the issue is when you take all these wild animals alive, stack them next to each other in close quarters with bunches of other animals and other people, and those animals are stressed out to the max, so their immune systems are shit.
Yeah.
It's just a breeding ground for disaster. And this has happened like 3 times now. Because of this, they've all spawned from these wildlife markets, essentially. Now, I don't know about the bird flu. I don't know if that happened from a market but they have other markets. That's the main way they shop in China.
Yes.
Like there's no problem with like seafood markets or like markets where they're butchering animals.
Okay.
It's the live animals that are the problem.
Right, because that's where the transmission happens.
Yeah, and there's stress on the animal, and it's, first of all, it's not really a moral thing to do in the first place.
No.
But so what really needs to happen is China needs to shut that shit down, and they have. They've said they're going to. Now,
really?
Going forward, they've said they're done. It's over. But they don't need to stop with the markets. There's a confusion there. People keep saying it's these Chinese wet markets. That's not what it is. A wet market is just a market. That's like your farmer's market.
Okay.
Except they would also have meat there and fish. It's like a market, but of butchered animals.
Yes.
I mean, a wildlife market.
You don't have to stop the market of selling food. You have to stop the live market with animals stacked in cages to where the disease can actually be transmitted. You're not going to transmit the disease if all the animals are butchered, you know.
And I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong
to a point,
about
I guess.
that. That's at least what I understood about it. But you know, I don't think they actually even know what happened exactly. But,
right. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And look at what it's done. Unbelievable. Unprecedented.
It is. It's crazy.
So, all right. Well, check out every week of Snarf Talk. Not just this week, not just last week, all the weeks.
Yeah, I've been listening back some older episodes.
Yeah.
And it's great. I just listened to the Bristol Renaissance Fair one.
Oh, really? I haven't listened to that in a long time.
Fun, interesting episode.
Yeah, it's a fun, interesting experience when you go to the Bristol Renaissance Fair.
Which might not happen this summer.
Yeah, it may not. I mean, we've always went in like September, so it could possibly happen.
We'll see. All right, for Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I am Jerry.
See ya.
Bye.